And welcome to my average $5,000 a month New York City apartment. Let me give you a grand tour, but first, check out this view. We're here on the west side, right by the cruise terminal, the Intrepid, Manhattan Mini Storage, and a plethora of cars on 12th Avenue with non-stop honking. Let's start the tour here in the foyer, which is what you see when you first enter my home. And here's where I get most of my noise complaints. This is an intercom tuned from the front desk, so anytime I'm too loud and the neighbors complain, the front desk will call me up and say, hey, quiet down. It's also used to announce food deliveries and when visitors are here. And right up above me is my entrance chandelier. And while I could use these light switches like a normal person, what's so great about this apartment is the fuse box is right by the front door. So in order to save money so I can actually afford this place, I just use the fuses to turn everything off and back on. And once we leave the foyer, we enter the wonderful kitchen area, featuring this non-dynamic island I bought from Crate & Barrel because the apartment didn't even include a center island. And I got these two bar stools too, and a smart trash can. Open can. So for $5,000 a month, you get these severely outdated appliances like this non-smart refrigerator I definitely use a lot. We have a microwave over here. And this stove may seem like an outdated gas stove. However, it actually combines 3 features in one. You can use it as a normal stove for cooking, and these dials adjust the flame intensity. And when the landlord is too cheap to turn the heat on before November, you can use it as a free fireplace because you don't have to pay for gas. And when the landlord does turn the heat on, it's a very dry heat, so this stove can act as a free humidifier, releasing steam into the air, as well as this very loud microwave fan. One thing that's not so great is a lack of cabinet space. There's not room here for larger appliances, as you can see, like my pot. I have nowhere to hide my pot, and I just keep my pot out in the open and hope that no one notices or minds. Sink system is pretty standard, has a sink sprayer, which is nice. Water here comes in 3 flavors. There's hot, cold, and brown, which is why I have this AquaTrue reverse osmosis system. You pour the water in here, it filters it and puts it in this tank, and then you can spit it out here. Haven't used this in a while. I've been too lazy to replace the filters, but this was a good investment, especially when your water comes out brown from New York City tap. This here's a coffee machine, pretty standard, gets the job done when I don't feel like spending $5.50 for Starbucks coffee. And now the $1,000,000 question, how do I get these dishes clean? Do I wash them in the sink or do I have a dishwasher? Well, where would the dishwasher be? There's no dishwasher here. Well, wait a minute, check this out. Hidden in plain sight is a dishwasher. So this is pretty good. It's always nice to have a dishwasher in New York City if you can. So that was the foyer and kitchen, and now we're gonna get to my favorite room of the apartment, the office. That's right, I did not say living room for tax purposes. So for work, I run an online business from this laptop here, and as well as in the rest of this room, which I use only for business activities. Now you may be saying, hey, there's a couch in the middle of your office. Not a lot of offices have a couch in the middle of them. Well, to alleviate your doubts, I have a very visible sign posted that you can see from any seat on this couch. It says right there, business activities only, absolutely no leisure allowed. All right, so then what business purposes do I use these couches for? Well, honestly, sometimes I like to work from the couch, lying down. Have this nice cup holder system here where I can have my beverage and lie down and watch my sign that says no leisure allowed. I also use this spot for filming A-roll on my other channel, Steve C. Data. Go check it out. And aside from those 2 benefits for me getting my own work done, having a couch is actually more efficient for when I have unpaid interns helping me out, as I can now have 5 separate workstations in here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So now you may be wondering, all right, well, how much square feet do I get for $5,000 a month? Well, let's find out. I'm going to start by measuring the length to the front door over here to where the window is in my office over here. Let's start here. Let's try something else. One of my sandals is about 12 inches or 1 foot. So if I can walk in a straight line from one side to the other, which I've definitely never been asked to do before, then I should be able to figure out how many feet are from door to window. 26 feet. Now I gotta walk the width of the apartment from back there to this wall over here. So it's 23, meaning we do 23 times 26 is 598, so roughly 600 square feet for $5,000 a month. Does that seem like a good deal to you? So now you may be wondering, since I measured from over there, what's behind those doors? Is that where the secret apartment is that's really worth 5K a month? Well, I'll show you. And if you're a New Yorker, this amenity may be worth 5 grand alone by itself. It is a washer dryer machine. That's right. These are very rare in New York City, especially in older buildings. So this has been extremely convenient to have. You can't go back once you get used to one of these. And you have some more storage space over here for cleaning supplies. And back out here, we have my diploma. And behind this door is my bedroom. So my bed's a little sad looking. I used to have more bedding, but I'm in the process of moving out. Hence the complete lack of furniture and decoration. Other than, of course, my designated leisure television, which I use for leisure purposes. And the rest here, you can see outside my window, the nighttime view. There's a view of the Intrepid, and it's kind of what my view looks like at nighttime. There's some buildings over here like Sky and the Silver Towers, UPS, and there's usually a lot more traffic down there. They like to honk and keep me up at night, but thankfully it's Saturday and it's kind of quiet. And across the way over here is the one and only bathroom. So it's pretty standard, just has a bathtub, a sink, toilet. And one thing that I didn't notice until I was fully moved in is that there's no towel rack. I had to install my own. Usually an apartment will have a towel rack somewhere, but there's literally no space here for one. And it's nice, you can see here they have like a nice full portrait mirror. Behind here is a medicine cabinet that I'm not gonna show everyone right now. Now that you've seen what an average Manhattan, New York City one-bedroom apartment looks like for $5,000 a month, let's talk about if it's worth it. Now, just for some context, I've lived here for 5 years, since 2017 when the rental market was more sane. I paid roughly about $4,000 a month, and that's more or less what I'm still paying now for this apartment. And back in 2017, the average asking price was closer to maybe $3,500 for a one bedroom, and this was an above average apartment. It was over the average and median asking prices. So because I've lived here for so long and the landlord can only raise the rent by so much every year where I live, I have the option to renew my lease here for closer to $4,300 a month, even though this exact same unit on a different floor is on the market for $5,000 a month. So most people would say, well, hey, that sounds like a really good deal. You're able to get this apartment for $700 cheaper. But I like to think of things in terms of value. So like I mentioned before, I work online. I can work anywhere. It does not make any sense for me to live in Manhattan anymore. I used to enjoy living in Manhattan because there was a lot of nightlife, there were things to do, things were more reasonable. I wasn't paying $11 for a Guinness at every bar. But frankly, this city has really gone downhill lately. The crime is out of control. I'm harassed on the street, I'd say at least every week. I mean, maybe I shouldn't be walking around with this shirt, but I used to get harassed maybe only once every 2-3 years. I've lived in the city for 11 years. It's just not worth living here anymore, and needless to say, I am moving out of this apartment and wanted to make this video for one last documentation of what it's like to live in this place. Now you may be saying, well, hey, you negative Nancy, if New York City is going downhill, then why are rents going up? It must mean that everyone wants to live here, right? More demand, same supply, so prices go up. Well, there are a lot of reasons that people can raise prices. I own a business. Price is just a number that I make up. If I'm low on revenue and I need to bump up my revenue temporarily, I just raise my price. It's pretty easy. So think about the landlords. For the past 2 years, they've gotten really hit hard by people squatting in apartments, not paying rent. There was an eviction moratorium for like a year and a half. Landlords are hurting hard right now, and I wouldn't be surprised if they're just kind of using this as a way to prop up rents and get people who are naive enough, who've never lived in New York City before, to come here and sell it as, come join the greatest city in the world. And you know, you got a $5,000 a month apartment like this. And I mean, just to qualify for this place, you have to earn 40 times the rent, or $200,000 a year, which is not average. The only way an average New Yorker could afford to live in a place like this is to have roommates or your spouse or God knows what. There are a lot of different combinations you can have. So it's incredible. It doesn't make any sense anymore. And I have a feeling with the transition to remote work, a lot of employers are going to say, well, hey, you know, the rents are so expensive in New York. To pay an average person to live in an average one bedroom, I'm going to have to spend at least 200 grand on their salary alone, not to mention everything else on top of that cost. Why don't I just look for remote workers? Or why don't I find people in cheaper cities? So I think this is going to drive businesses away, to be honest, and I'm getting out of here. I'm going to embrace the online remote system, and I'm going to take that $4,300 a month I spend in rent, and I can literally stay in a 4 or 5-star hotel across the world and in the US on that same money. It's about $150 a night. So it's kind of a no-brainer. I'd rather go and see the world, and I see that as an asset in building experiences rather than just staying here and getting harassed on the streets, and God knows what, someone is getting shot on the street like once every week, and news just reports it as, oh, this is just normal going on in New York City, no big deal. So with that said, I move out in October 2022, and then I'm not really sure where I'm gonna go yet. I'm probably gonna head south towards Miami in South America to start, and I'm gonna try my best to document my travels on this channel, Steve C Tours. So please do me a favor and subscribe to the channel so you see those videos in the future. Also, if you made it this far, maybe you're one of my 4 whole subscribers I have right now, please like and share this video because no one is probably gonna watch this. If you are, I'm impressed if people actually end up watching this. So anyway, thanks for hanging out with me, and I'll see you on the rest of my tours, and thanks for watching.